Hello friends! A much needed cup of coffee after a very, very long E3 day -2. I don't know, today's Sunday. The EA and Bethesda press conferences were on. I'm just throwing together a little bit of a video, sort of putting together all of my impressions from all the various bits and bobs that were announced, because a bunch of people are asking on Twitter. So let's get the ball rolling. EA, first things first, Titanfall 2 came out. Was trotted out. Obviously earlier that day the trailer had been leaked anyway, so we had seen a bunch of that stuff. It was good to get context for it though, because obviously the single player stuff's been introduced, but they are also keeping the multiplayer stuff a little bit fresh as well with all these new Titans. Mike Mahardy was in the war room afterwards. He'd played a bunch of it. Apparently the Titans' abilities are like very powerful, so it's not like the Titans are just a little bit different this time. They're actually going to be like sort of significantly, or play significantly different. Looks good. I think a couple of years have made that game look a lot sharper. Obviously it's coming out on PC and PlayStation 4 as well, and yeah, good luck to them. October 28th for that bad boy. Mass Effect Andromeda, we saw a bit of gameplay for that. It looks promising, it looks really good. The facial animations look amazing, and for a game all about, you know, talking with random ass aliens, having conversations, I think that's a good thing. Like the sort of Star Wars stuff that EA trotted out afterwards, they were so vague about it. I'm not sure if that means we're going to see them at the Sony and Microsoft conferences tomorrow. We may or may not. All the Star Wars stuff is fascinating. I want to know what Visceral are working on. I think Respawn's one, like the little bit of B-roll they showed of them using, you know, lightsabers, just reminded me of Jedi Knight multiplayer straight away, like Jedi Outcast or like Jedi Academy. So I'm interested in seeing more of that stuff. And yeah, same as Mass Effect. I mean, all those games look like they're high budget third person action games, so fuck yeah. FIFA 17 was weird. I'm a massive fan of, this camera is so heavy so I'm gonna have to swap my hands every 2 seconds. I'm a massive fan of the Fight Night Champion game, which was a sports game which had a narrative single player in it, which NBA 2K16 attempted last year with a Spike Lee joint, which was okay. Fight Night Champion was a lot better, so how this journey thing works is going to depend on its execution. In practice, I love the idea of doing that. Fair play to them. We'll have to see. Apparently you can pick your own club and country as well, so you don't always have to be playing for Man United in England, so thank God. Battlefield 1 looks pretty great. I like the sort of Lebanon. Did you ever see that movie Lebanon with the Israeli tank where they're all stuck in it for the whole movie? I like that sort of feel that was in the little bit of the trailer. I wish we saw more gameplay of the single player. Again, maybe Microsoft, Sony, but the multiplayer looks cool. I haven't watched much of the Snoop Dogg, Zac Efron thing, but I met Vinny and Jeff in the atrium earlier, and they were talking about how much fun that was. So I'm gonna watch the Giant Bomb coverage after this to see all about that. But yeah, it looks promising. EA Originals was a weird thing. This like Fe game, like sure, like I like that they tipped the hat to the indie stuff. Maybe I feel like that game is maybe coming on the heels of a lot of games that are like that, so maybe not too interesting, but you know, it's mean to say that when you haven't played it yet, but we'll have to wait and see. And then on top of that, all the esports stuff they had, that like 10 minutes of esports was just like fucking too much for me. But all in all, pretty good. They showed a lot of cool games, they just didn't show much of them. So Titanfall and Battlefield obviously are, I think EA are pretty strong on the first person shooter front this year. Moving on to Bethesda, and speaking of first-person fronts, I think I had like just talked a second earlier about, man, wouldn't it be great? Like I was talking up the idea of getting Quake just as we finished our pre-show, and then wouldn't you know it, up turns Quake in the form of Quake Champions, which is, they're saying an arena shooter on PC, but they're not saying anything else. So I'm wondering, is it a, you know, are these characters, these champions, do they have, is it an arena shooter but they have individual, you know, firing modes, individual abilities, stuff like that. Some of the Quake 3 folks were in there. Visor was in there, like weird ones, like not the ones you'd think. There's no Orb or Sarge or Anarchy or Klesk, but they had Visor. So I guess we'll see more of that at QuakeCon. Fallout 4 stuff is interesting, kind of weird. I mean, they're turning Fallout 4 into Fallout Shelter and turning Fallout Shelter into Fallout 4. You can now build shelters in Fallout, and in Fallout Shelter you can now leave the shelter. So Sure, I mean, I'm sure that's for somebody. Same sort of thing, Skyrim Special Edition, long rumored. They've had this finished for like 2 years probably at this stage. They're finally putting it out, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It's got mod support, looks real pretty, coming out October 26th. I believe this is paving the way for them making a new Elder Scrolls game. We didn't hear anything about it at this one. I've got Todd Howard on the stage on Tuesday, so I'll ask him then. Obviously he's not going to say anything, but gotta do it. So I guess we'll see more about Elder Scrolls 6 at E3 2017. Moving swiftly on, weirdly, Arcane Austin have picked up the remnants of that Human Head Prey game. It's not Prey 2, it's just called Prey. It looks like it may be some sort of space horror game. Dead Space and System Shock are both classics. Go at it. Fair play. I'm very interested in seeing what Arcane Austin are get their hands on once they've got the reins on something. And I mean, conceptually it looks interesting. Crazy trailer, it's all CG, so who knows, but there's that. Doom's getting a bunch of multiplayer maps. It's also getting a demo. The demo is a great idea. Anyone who plays that game for 20 minutes is going to buy it, so I think that's a no-brainer for them. They also showed off Tamriel Unlimited with their Dark Brotherhood DLC and the Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card game. What I'm more interested in about there is what's going to happen with that in relation to Gwent. Like, if that Gwent thing is true, is that going to be more popular? Is Tamriel have the pull? I really don't have eyes or visibility on any of that stuff. But what was interesting about that was that Battlecry Studios didn't get a look in anywhere. So it doesn't look like they're working on anything else. Battlecry wasn't mentioned, which everyone probably thought. But yeah, just something to sort of realize there. Bethesda also interestingly get involved in virtual reality and definitely throwing their lot in with the HTC Vive. We saw Doom is getting VR support in the not too distant future, and Fallout 4 coming out for HTC Vive. I think they said March of 2017. I might be wrong. I thought it was far away. But yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's interesting, I think, because if they said HTC Vive, are they distancing themselves from the rumored Oculus thing with Microsoft, which I guess by the time this is up we'll probably already have the Microsoft conference done and dusted, but maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into them mentioning the Vive in particular. Maybe they did that to, thank Steam for all the Steam Workshop support in relation to the mods. I don't know. And then the last thing that got trotted out was Harvey Smith of Deus Ex fame came out with Dishonored 2. It looks real good. It looks like a Dishonored game. It's still kind of like the movement and the killing and the animations is still something that doesn't really work for me. But everything else about the game looks super fun. I mean, Harvey Smith worked on Deus Ex, which is the poster child for emergent gameplay. So if there's ever any game that's going to have some very interesting elements of that, Dishonored 2 looks like it. The powers look very interesting. She looks totally OP at this for the demo, but that's obviously for the demo's sake. I'm sure the game sort of gives you the layers of challenge which challenge you, and that's coming out November 11th of this year. A lot of great games already at E3. E3 technically is still a day or two away from starting, so it's been good, and I'm really tired, so I'm going to go now. Thank you for hanging out. I've been recording all around the LA Convention Center on this camera to put together like some sort of like what it's like at E3 video. But if you have any questions about any of those games or the stage shows, put them in the comments below. I'm going to do another one of these tomorrow, which will be all about Microsoft, Ubisoft, and Sony. And I guess Nintendo are doing a thing on Tuesday, but I'll probably be too busy. And it's Zelda, so who cares? Hope you're enjoying E3. Let me know what you're excited about, and I'll see you real soon. Adios. Now I'm gonna turn this off. What's Pokemon's favorite drink? Coffee.